Hello, and in this video we're going to look at how to implement a VersiPort and how to use it with a occupancy sensor. In my system I've got a Lutron LOS-CDT-2000R, so it's the relay version of the Lutron occupancy sensor. So I'm going to show you how I've got it wired and how we can get the signal from the sensor back to our processor. So first thing what we need to do is we need to create a variable for our VersiPort. So I'm gonna do that. So it's private VersiPort, and I'm gonna call it occupancy sensor. Okay, now we go to down here into our constructor right after we configure our COM port. So I'm just gonna assign the VersiPort to port 1, which that's what I'm using. So it's the digital input 1 on the CP4. So it's VersiPort and we're using port 1. The next step, we're gonna register the port, and after register we need to set the VersiPort to be a digital input, and to do that we'll use a set VersiPort configuration method, and we're just gonna use the inner member, which is a digital input. That's that, and now we've got it set as a digital input, and now we just need to handle the VersiPort change. So I'm gonna do an event handler, and I'm gonna create a method that's gonna get triggered when there's a change on this VersiPort. So what I'm gonna do here, just to simply kind of confirm that our port is actually doing what it's meant to do. So I'm gonna check if the port digital in is true, and I'm just gonna print into a console that the room is occupied, and if it's false we're just gonna print the room is empty. So when there's activity on the sensor, we should get a print on into a console saying that it's occupied, and if the sensor is not active, it should print empty into a custom console. So that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna just load it into a processor. And we can load it to the processor. While the program is loading, I'm just going to show you how I've got it wired. So as you can see, this sensor is 24 volts, so I'm using the Crestnet on the CP4 to power the sensor. I mean, it can be any power supply. Then on the digital input, I've got the yellow-white wire coming out of it, which is normally open. And in the ground I've got blue and white wire, which is the relay common and signal. And now we go back to the terminal, and as you can see the code is loaded and we're getting a occupied empty printed into our console. So when I move, it says occupied, and now I try to stay still, and as you can see we got empty printed into our console. And that's it. Thank you for watching.